So, we meet again. The last time. In a long wait, no, never mind. Today we're going to make floors. We did this thing. When I say today, I mean today. It's still the same day, but this is a different episode. We're getting in there.
Yep.
To my right, you'll notice a large piece of 20 gauge sheet steel, mild steel, cold rolled in fact. It's what I use mostly on vehicles, 20 gauge cold rolled. We're going to use that for this floor. Had a bunch of people commenting on the radiator being in here. What about if it overheats? Steam in the cab. Come on. You think I would actually put a boiling hot radiator right at our feet, at our toes? No, there's going to be a removable floor. See these bolts here? The way this International was made, the front floor pan actually bolted in, and then the cover that covered the transmission and shifter bolted in as well. So I'm going to utilize that. We got two pieces of hardware that broke off, but that's no big deal. I'll drill them out, one there and one on the other side. But nice bolt pattern right across the floor into that cross member. So what I'm thinking is, with this yardstick as a representation, I'm going to come across at like this height. And you can see it's lower than the cross member that I created, but it's going to tie into this. So it's going to come across and then rise up approximately 2.5, 3 inches. That's what we're going to lay out today. Not going to fasten it because I still want to be able to put the radiator in. Still want to be able to make this removable through a series of screws, and there'll be some sides on it as well, but this will be sealed up. If it overheats, hey, whatever. Steam's going to be beneath the floor, but to fill it, etc., is going to be behind the cab. I don't know what that tank is. Somebody mentioned it. I did it in a couple other mid-engine cars I built. It's just a water tank, so the radiator cap's actually outside. This is just a radiator. There's no fill per se under the floor. If you had to change it out, you take the floor out, pull the unit up.
So it's not going to burn my sweet little toes.
Well, hopefully not.
I'll wear good shoes.
I'm going to seal the floor. I'm going to put I'm going to put Dynamat. I'm going to put rubber strips. I'm going to throw the whole kitchen sink at it. I say there will be no steam in the cab.
I believe you.
Can't make too many promises in this lifetime. I just hope it doesn't put steam in the cab. So measuring from there to the cross member, I'm seeing approximately 14 inches. Would you agree? That's the deepest side of this. As we get into here, it pulls back with that curvature, and that's about 12. So I always think of a rough cut. I always make it a little bit bigger because, hey, an inch of steel, better to err on the side of safety and just oversize it in the beginning. So I'm going to say our measurement is 16 front to back. And then from the low point of this coming across the floor, which is kind of warped, I'm going to come up, as I mentioned, maybe 2.5 or 3 inches. So looking at that, for me, it's 2.5. So 16 and 2.5 is 18.5.
That's the math I got.
And then we want to come forward at least 1 inch because I'd like that to land on this for some structure. So let's make it 19.5. You write that down.
19.5, 19.5.
Everybody say it together in slow motion.
19.5, 19.5.
Now say it in reverse. I said say it in reverse.
5.
Nope.
9.
5, that's 5 forward. 5, yeah. We'll have to reverse the tape. 19.5. Here, let me do this so we remember it. It's going to be that wide.
Definitely aren't going to forget.
Now we're going to measure the width of the truck cab, and I do see it tapers a bit. So from the front portion of this, between these two uprights I built, wow, it's exactly 50 inches. And then at the roughly 16-inch mark I mentioned, which is right about here, so we got 50 in the front. Come on, tape, give me some more. Things get out of control, boy. Once they get started, it's like a slinky in here. And that's showing 53. So 53 to 50 tapering. Whew, that's a lot of math already in this brain. Where did I put my chalk? I got so excited. Let me grab another one. There's two numbers we got to remember. The first one is 50. The second one is 53.
Yep.
All right. You won't forget that. Now I'm going to set up some material. Now, as any nutty professor would do, I'm going to cover up my first measurement with a piece of steel. We're all going to have to remember that. That's why I wrote it so big. 4x8 cold rolled sheet coming on the table.
I love the sound.
Sound effects are too much. It's so good. All right. So, because we're making a tapered piece, we can't simply measure from one end. We need to create a center line of the widest measurements. Standard layout procedure. Because 53 is our widest measurement, I'm going to pull this tape on this edge. I'm going to make two marks at 53. .53 here. What's half of 53? That's half of 4'5". That's 2 foot 2.5, just like that. 2 foot 2.5. That's our center. .53. 2 foot 2.5. It's 26.5 inches. US standard. 4 foot straight edge. Bounce our center mark off of this one. You don't really need to draw a line all the way across, but I just do out of habit. So we were saying, what was the magic number under here?
19.5.
That's correct.
I can't believe I remembered it.
You know what that means to you and me? 19.5. 19.5. We're going to cruise this out 4 feet. Nothing in my world is perfectly square, so we're going to see how it adds up on this back end. Coming out here, 19.5. Get our ruler things in order. Hit that one. Boom. 19.5. There. Now we'll see how the two ends jive. Pretty close. Again, not rocket science, but I'm going to cut this with the disc. Be a little loud, but that other Beverly shear I have to do this, there's so much stuff on the table.
It's okay. I have background music and I turn the sound down.
You know, I, for one, would like to thank you for turning the sound down because it really helps when I'm watching this on the playback. stops me from fiddling with the volume knob so much. Put a couple blocks under this. All right, grinder, spectacles, and action. Note to self, these edges are razor sharp. Never, never, never wipe your hand along the edge of any piece of sheet metal. Otherwise, you're gonna find out real quick. I've made the habit of every sheet metal grab is like this, boom. It's a simple clamp. It's not fingertips, it's just flat. And never sliding across the edge. That's one of the most special feeling cuts you could ever receive.
I still have a scar on my thumb from when I was 5 years old from my dollhouse.
It's a thing. All steel dollhouse?
Say that again?
All steel dollhouse?
Yeah, it was like a steel dollhouse.
Cold rolled?
Huh?
20 gauge?
I don't know.
Come on.
But all I know, here, look at my thumb.
All right, so we stay with the wide side of the project, 53. Now we got our center line. This is going to be 53 at the rear end of the floor pan. The front is 50. Like my hand gestures, it's a very traffic cop. I've learned to hand speak.
With your gloves.
But wait, half of 50, come on, quick.
25.
That's correct. Let's go out 25 on each side. Not a huge taper, but it is a taper. As we mentioned, 25 and 25 equals 50 all day long.
I'm really fascinated. Sorry to talk over you, but I'm really fascinated where you're going with this because I have no idea.
Oh, we're going to the sheet metal break, places further beyond. You know what, one thing I was just thinking of while I was being talked over and interrupted?
Yeah, I'm so rude.
16.5 is our floor, not 19.5. So we're coming out 16 point, we're gonna come out 16 because I'm feeling like 16 right now. Right there. 16. 16. So this is our actual floor inside. That comes out 25.
But didn't you say you made it over a bit so you could taper it back as you need?
Right, right. That's why I'm making the 16-inch mark for our turn up to that support. So if I do trim back, it'll be on the flat side with no work we're about to do on the sheet metal brake.
Makes
There's
sense.
more. There's more. I'm going to slap this thing in the sheet metal brake. Then we're going to discuss. See our mascot back there? Icy Bear.
Thanks, Greg.
Greg gave us that. I don't know where he's going to end up. Right now he's in the way of the sheet metal brake. He's going to get hit in the head with that handle in a minute, but he's made a Lexan. He can survive. So we about to turn up. When I say turn up, I mean 90 degrees. Clamp it in this thing. All right. So this is the front face, the kick panel of the front of the floor. Now, we'll make our mark at 25. Right here. And here. There's a few things you could do. These are good. This is going to have side panels, little triangles that attach to the side of the truck. So I'm just trying to lay this out without using a bunch. If I was to make little wings out here that flip up to the height we need them, I'd be at like 60 or 65 inches. So this is just a little metal saving trick because I can make these little wings out of, you know, scrap. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be a 3 or 4 piece thing instead of just wasting our precious virgin material. But what I'm going to do, what I am going to do is cut through and hammer these up. Setting this on the table, we get a piece of angle iron and clamp that down. Just short of victory as usual, but we're going to make it work. Get a couple of clamps on there. Again, you see what we're working with. It's all pretty basic stuff. That high-tech computer-controlled bending machines. Oops. I need a little assistance from the block. Get this clamp up out of the way.
Ah.
You like that, don't
That's a
you?
little life hack right there.
Uh-huh. When in doubt, block it out.
It could
All
go
right.
a lot of ways in life.
Yeah, I showed this tool before. It's called a slapper, but maybe you haven't been hip to the trip. Let me grab it. Friend who gave me the English wheel or gave me this tool. It's for forming sheet metal, but I use it all over the place. The idea is if I was to hit this with a hard hammer, it's going to dent it. So when you hit it with wood, it doesn't really dent, it just forms it.
Interesting.
And it's called a slapper because, ooh, how you like that? How you like that?
Slapping it.
See, it doesn't dent the metal, it just pushes it into shape. I don't know where you get them, but there's a
sticker on the side.
Monument, size 5 beach something dressing tool.
It looks like it's from the UK.
I think it is. You know why?
Let me guess. Because the
Royale
English
with
wheel
cheese.
is from the UK?
It's an English wheel. For those that don't know, the English wheel is that large machine in the corner that I never use.
You'll get there.
I'll get there. I just don't use it.
Well, why don't you use it though?
I'm not intimidated by that 7-foot hunk in the corner. I can master that thing.
Yeah.
All right. Look at that. It got turned up without denting. See, it's getting stronger already. All right, slide that down. All right, I'm gonna cut this piece off. Or what do you think? I think we should just really get a little crazy right now. Let's bring out the hammer once more.
Let's bring out what?
The hammer once more. We're gonna turn this edge up too. We're turning up all edges right now. We're getting wild.
It is Monday.
Hey, it's Memorial Day. It's time to turn up some edges. I said 53. If I turn these edges up and it don't fit, we're gonna have a heck of an episode. You know why I called it a floor pan?
Why?
This would look like it'd be becoming a pan.
Oh, it totally does.
It's becoming stronger with every edge we turn up. I like to wing it like that. This thing's too wide. You know what we're gonna do?
Section it.
Slit it right down the center. That's why that line's there. I ain't scared. Watch me go. That's how you make folly look like mastery.
Everyone's learning all your tricks now.
They thought I actually knew what I was doing. That's the funny part. I'm just over here juggling rubber chickens. Moment of truth.
Right.
If it don't fit, warm up that cutting wheel. Drum roll, please. Whoa, it fit. I was worried it wouldn't fit. It slipped
Like
right
a
in there.
glove.
Man, that guy and that measuring tool are all right. Like I meant to do that.
Heck yeah.
Slam a couple sheet metal screws, temporary fasteners into the back of this, that we can get our level and prepare for the next turn out of the hammering. I might even just leave it like that. I don't know. Let me screw it down and see. I'm getting emotional. All right, try to pull this forward a wee bit. Get it as tied up as I can. Oh, it's the old plate for the... All right, looking at it from the front, you can see a little discrepancy in the height. It's got to come up, come down. Yeah, that feels good. Right there. A little hammer on that, or a slapper. So we got about that much off of that. Look at that, it's even. See, this is what I was getting at. Seeing maybe it turning forward and landing here.
What you thinking?
I like that. I like it. I'm gonna put it in the sheet metal brake. Do it in one, because it's not even. See, it's deeper here than it is here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna bend it at this deeper angle, and this will just be a slight ramp up to here. So I'll unscrew it, cut these little tabs off the side, put it in the brake. That'll give it a good amount of structure. All right, so I'm gonna make the bend on the brake, but I have to get this piece of sheet out of the way. So I'm gonna cut straight through and relieve it. So this is going to be the forward-facing flat panel of the floor that will lap onto that framework of the square tube I built. But you can see how the line disappears inside the tool, just because there's that that slight kickoff in the front of the structure that I built. But I think the lower portion is going to be fine. It's going to come up at a slightly different angle, and I'll slap it into place. We should be able to land it. Probably going to keep it just outside a 90-degree bend. See, it's a little shy, just to fit it up, and then I'll hand bang it into shape. All right. Now it's very rigid. I'm gonna have to mark it where it's gonna have the clearance, those two uprights, the triangulation and the vertical. Yeah, see how to mark that so I can cut that out. So I'm gonna say, I'll turn this up to here. Do the same with this one. I'll just bang it into shape. Yeah. Make it happen. Everything about sheet metal is control. If you just start banging on it, it's going to get weird on you. But if you lock it and then bend it, that's the key. Chuck it in the truck.
Wow.
See, this is what I was considering. Just a little bit off. It's not 100% even. What's the fix? The fix is I get the big old hammer, hit that right in. There it is. Fortunately, with this truck, cab is a little bit out of shape, but I don't think it's a loss. If I get the bigger hammer, I might be able to just finesse it a little bit more. I'm just trying to get the grab right here, and the issue is it's just a little bit off. You know, the truck body wasn't very straight from the start, so now we're starting to see these little 1/8 inch differences. So see, it's got a nice grab, and this one's just a little bit off. So you know what I'm going to do? What do you think a trained professional would do in this situation?
To try to make it grab evenly? Yeah. Hit it with another hammer?
Cheat it. Yeah, I'm just going to straighten this structure back out. It's a good tight fit, that's for sure. Oh, let it go. This bar is just a little bit different. I'm going to put the big lever on it. Send that back into shape a little bit. There it is. I call that a win. A couple more lumps with the big one. There it is. Not perfect, but darn close. At least it's grabbing on there. I'll be able to clamp that and screw it on. Now I'll cut off these little loose edges here. Slap them down into shape. So those little tabs sticking up right now. I'm just going to put a clamp here. Actually, I'll just clamp it here. Get a decent grab on it. Yeah, cool. Just knock them into position. There'll be a little detail that finishes that in the end, but that's kind of the story for the bottom of the floor. The little flags I mentioned on the side are for these open areas. There'll be some kind of rubber inserted on the floor there that will push against. Again, this is all just roughing it out. But that's kind of the story. So the floor, you can see, is a lot more leg room than what was there in the standard cab. So we'll be able to throw gear up in here because the steering, I'm going to have to get a van steering box. I've been thinking about that. I'm sure the 2500 Chevy van is very similar to the way that this truck steers, I'm hoping, because this truck steering angle goes back and we're going to need this thing to come straight up. So a couple ways to go about that. They have these steering offset devices, but I'm going to look into the van steering wheel. But I was mentioning I'm going to have to take this cab on and off a bunch of times to get into the mechanical stuff underneath. So getting this structure in was actually very important. I wouldn't go taking this truck, picking it up again without having this structure in place. So now the nose skin can stay off pretty much till the end. That nose skin only goes on after everything else is fabbed out, because look, we got a clear window. We're doing steering, we're doing pedal assembly, you know, brake booster under the floor. Tons of room, but one step closer, as they say. Sometimes it just takes a bigger wrench. I'd like to thank you all for stopping by for this short and sweet edition of Little Jules' first floor pan rehab.